Welcome back to the show, everyone. Great to have our next guest joining us. He is a busy, busy man all the time, and he's taken on a new challenge.
Absolutely. Stuart Aikins is a casting director. Every actor in town knows his name, also because he happens to cast some small independent films called Twilight. He's also directing The Hobbit at Cap University, which will be beginning on November the 19th. How are you, Stuart?
Stuart, how are you?
I'm great. And this is my mo all year long.
Yeah, you got the mo. You've got it all the time.
Yes.
Did you start in directing originally?
Yes, I started in theater and directing. That's what I'm trained to do. And then I went into casting 35 years ago.
35 years ago.
I know, wow, I must like actors, boy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're not weird at all.
No, not at all.
How long has it been since you've been sort of able to go back and get back to the roots, as
It's been great, because I decided about 3 years ago that I wanted to, start giving back. So I went and started teaching part-time at Capilano University. And this is my 3rd year there, and they asked me to direct this production of The Hobbit. And so I went, yeah. So it's a lot of work because it's 30 students. Yeah. There are 30 people in the cast.
That is a huge cast. Maybe you can tell us about your love of The Hobbit, too, because this would make it extra fun if it's something that you have an attachment to, of course.
Well, I think I was like all young kids. I grew up reading and loved the fantasy novel. I mean, that's what I read. In the private of my life, if I'm not reading a script, I'm reading a fantasy novel. So when I first thought, oh, The Hobbit, this is great, of course, and it's really apropos now because everybody's yapping about it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But then of course the adaptation was made for children's theater, so it's very children's theater. So I immediately went, oh, okay, this is 1999, and the expectations of kids now are completely different. So ours is way darker. I mean, we have smoke machines, and we have projections, and we have tarantulas running around on the screen.
And we have
Sting.
And we have Sting.
Swords. Did I do it right?
Swords! No.
You know what? I don't think
Did
I
you
got
break
magic.
it?
Push it.
I did.
Push it real good.
I did.
Here we go.
Push it.
You gotta do it.
This is Sting. Oh, here we go.
See, now it's magic. Stuart has the magic.
Hey.
And it sings.
There must be orcs nearby.
Yes, there are orcs. There are orc camera people nearby.
I can't imagine.
Although if I was casting this all over and I didn't have to use students, I would have come here first because there's Bilbo.
Don't waggle your sword at me.
Bilbo Baggins?
Bilbo Baggins right here. Gandalf.
Gandalf!
Yes!
This must be. I mean,
Baggins. Wait a minute.
Hey, no, that's fine.
That's
I expected
awesome.
that. But as I'm going through the book and everything else, and we're hearing all this stuff about, the difficulty of making it into a feature film, this would be a very challenging play to bring to theater. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yes, we have a lot of fantasy elements. Apart from trolls and goblins and all of that, we have
dragons.
We have Smaug the dragon. We have to fly people, quote unquote, with the Eagle King comes along. The Lord of Eagles comes and flies them away. They go in. They dump themselves into a river. There's a river sequence. That's all stuff that the challenge of doing a production of it.
Now you're in tech rehearsals right now, which means
yes,
you're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Tonight's our last full dress tech before we preview tomorrow on Thursday and open Friday, and we run for 2 weeks.
How are the costumes?
The costumes are amazing. Jay Havens has done an amazing job, and they're very much, because I said I want it to look realistic. Also, in the theater, we've built an entire stage in the middle of the house, because it's the journey play, and I want the actors, and so they journey up into the center of the theater, and they journey back. So the troll sequence happens there, the Gollum sequence happens there, and so all the costumes had to be realistic enough that the audience sitting this close could look at them. I mean, Bilbo has hair on his feet. Even when you look at
the sheath for the sword and everything else, I mean, it's beautiful.
Bilbo has hair on his feet?
He has hair on his feet.
See, Mike wouldn't need a costume.
See, who has saved me so much money.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Twilight, because of course you are the casting director in town for Twilight. How busy is your life at the moment?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I do a lot of shows, and Twilight being one of them. This show has been a little less crazy because we shoot so much of it in Louisiana, and everybody who has almost been in any of the movies is coming back. So all the people that I cast in New Moon, like Bronson Peltier and Tyson Houseman and Chris Heyerdahl, they're all coming back, and so they're all shooting in Louisiana starting this next week.
So that makes your job a little easier because
I still have other parts to look for. Thank goodness, the last time we talked, I don't have, actors in Brazil being visited by God that they should be in the show, so I don't have that much of a problem with that anymore.
You have seen the weirdest side of people during the casting of this film, have you not?
This is amazing, the fan base. We finally decided that the fan base, because there are fans' websites that actually will take money to give information out about this movie. So we went all public with, okay, these are the 3 casting directors that are casting the picture, and this is an email address, not my personal one, but an email address to reach us, so that we could stop all of that problem.
So
because
people aren't being taken advantage of?
They're not being taken advantage of.
That's
but
good.
still, I mean, I clear out my website at least twice a day of 100 to 150 emails. And that's been going on for 3 months.
And the people, what do they send? They just send pictures of themselves?
They send like
is there a
36
story?
pictures of themselves.
So awesome.
Looking like vampires. With teeth and everything like that.
You make an awesome
absolutely, the full 9 yards.
You've seen it all. What else are you working on aside from Twilight? What else is going on in town right now?
Well, we just finished Sanctuary, which you just saw, Chris, and we've started a new series called Endgame with Sean Doyle, which is a great show. I'm doing the first live-action sitcom that's ever been done in Canada called Mr. Young.
YTV?
For YTV.
And this is very unusual. I mean, to have a live audience there, everything else, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, rehearse and then go up in front of a live audience for 2 days.
Wow.
It's just great. Brendan Myers is the lead, and he's fabulous in it. And,
oh, that's fantastic.
And so it's great, and I just started shooting a Steve Austin movie on Sunday. And
very
relax.
Cool.
And then he directs one of the most complicated plays I can imagine doing.
But you can go and relax and watch The Hobbit, because it's going to be happening at Capilano University starting on November 19th. And how long is the run?
Till the 27th.
Till the 27th. Make sure that you see it. 30 people in the cast for a great production. You're freaking me out with that thing. We're going to take a break, and when we return, Brendan Fletcher is going to be here. Why? Because he is the biggest Canucks fan that we know, so we're going to talk some hockey right after this. Don't go away. I don't know why I can't turn it on. I keep trying.